Welcome back. Getting ready to start the final activation phase. First thing we do is we draw some madness. This one does not have a plus sign, but we have to draw 3 cards. First one. Increase one level 3, 2, or 1 terror group in each of 3 regions. Middle East, Africa, and Central South Asia by 1 level each. So, Middle East. Make that one a 3. Make that a 3. And Africa. Oh crap, this one's becoming a 4. This one's getting to be a problem. Roll a d10. 4 plus 1 public approval. Doesn't matter. Media slant also improves it. Draw and place a goodwill counter. So I guess we earned 1. And then this gets discarded. There's some interesting events. Again, the designers who worked on this, it's amazing how much time they must have spent on this game. Secretary said offends host. Oh, come on. Roll d10. A 4. Of course it's the Middle East. Then roll again. Subtract the rating. Get a low number, please. A 9 is not a low number. Secretary of State's rating is a 2. So that 9 becomes a 7. If there's a U.S. ally in a region, decrease the relationship by 1. 1 to 3 is Israel. Place an anti-US. We were doing so well. -1. And there is no trade agreement in the Middle East. This goes into the reshuffle. And the last one. Place 1 tension on China and 1 crisis in Asia. Add 1 influence. Crap. They're getting their influence up. And just like that.
Oh, yes, I do. Oh, I love it. It's, I want to buy 3 tokens right now just to get a spoon. No, I went on a
that happens.
with 1 spoon. But then
well, so much for us getting good luck. The only good luck here is I didn't draw a plus. We don't have to do 2 more. So now we get to do any 3 actions. We're in a new section. We can do 2 more summits if we really wanted to.
no, I died alone.
The removing China influence was something
That was my other spine.
I can only do if that regional crisis is 0. We already know by process of elimination that Group B is coming out. So Group B, I think, is going to be Saudi Arabia. Let me check. UK, Japan, and North Korea. So those are the 3 that haven't gone yet. Japan can spend an action to reduce this. So in doing so, I can then spend influence 2 of the 4 at this stage to remove that influence from China.
I still say I won that
So
because I did.
for this point, I think I want to do other things. Like, for example, we can reduce the lingering issues. But see, we get domestic actions there, so we can do that there. I think everything over here is fine. Even the bill passing stuff. I do want to move that over, but like I said, 3 actions here. So, what I want to do then is I know this is blue in the game, but I actually have a hard time seeing it amongst everything here.
Yeah, because then they learn.
That doesn't change a dang thing.
So
Never mind. I think we should do our summits. So, Summit 1, Russia.
I love those moments.
We gotta we gotta improve these relationships.
When I was new to this game,
If I can somehow get them down to posture 1, that would help.
with
But I don't know. Like, to me, this is important, and maybe I'm wasting my time. But
full Sobraxes, sorry.
the relationship is just a 1.
And
So
against
again, I
this
have to
guy,
try to improve relations.
that's probably my most memorable fight ever because it was a
I roll a
long
7.
fight because the Gallos were trying to get us, but we were able to get one bite in on one of them.
So put an improving economy marker on, which means
It was a beautiful.
they now get an extra action.
Very proud of that moment. I think that's why I kept playing the game.
This is so frustrating. But we get what we want. And then we roll because we succeeded. We only did one thing. We rolled a 4. Remove 1 tension, and we got the sucker to move up.
Wait, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
Get rid of 1 more tension. Next, we go to China. We do the same thing. This time, though, we have a 4 relationship with China. I think that means we get to do 3 things. It does. First one, we're going to improve relationship.
Did they not try and bite you?
A 9 is horrible. 1 China influence counter in Asia Pacific or Central South Asia. That is horrible. So 1 there. We get rid of the anti-US. Okay, that was 1. Number 2. We're going to stabilize Asia and Pacific.
I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be back.
These high number rolls are killing me. +1 China influence counter in the region. Yeah, this is horrible. But what that did for me is I get to remove 1 regional crisis, remove 1 tension from China, and each US ally in the region. So 1 from Japan, 1 from Australia, and 1 from there. So that was 3 allies I was able to remove. Okay, that was action 2. Action 3. We can try a Civil War ceasefire. Anti-terror campaign. There is a level 3 in South Asia. The thing is I noticed that Russia goes after these on their own, so I should just let it fester. The problem is the anti-terror campaign in Africa does not count. It's only 2 areas, here and here. And we can try to remove or move back North Korea's nuclear, which at the moment I'm not as interested in. So let's try to do a Civil War ceasefire again. I think we did pass once before. This is supposed to have a peacekeeper with it. I think we're going to go ahead and do it here. So let's roll, see what they want. A 3 might mean they actually want to help us. They want an improving economy marker, which they already have. So yes, we'll give that to them. Hope I read the wrong one. Hold on. Yes, I can give them an extra action point or give them an economy improving. I'll give them economy improving.
Just walk away.
Alright, so we get... I have to roll again. I need a low. A 4 is no effect, so I'll take that. So then, yes, this goes here. And then this comes back along with one of these. So if we ever progress wars again, which we do here, those two would resolve pretty nicely, I think. Okay, so that was 2 of our 3, and then one of them, of course, now that we got this to 0, we're going to remove an influence. I rolled a 1. Get rid of one of those suckers. Now we go to Terror and Chaos.
I wanted to get that Para and Maya.
So it's Chaos. I think Chaos is worse than the Terror, to be honest with you. Okay, we're going to increase conflict somewhere. Rolled a 9. Saudi Arabia is now at war with Iran. Okay, I will do that in a second. Let's just finish this. Roll a 10. That was not a roll. Okay, that time it was. It's a domestic chaos. And roll this. I'm rolling the worst possible. Unless your public approval is 60% or higher, in which case nothing happens. Okay, actually, that worked out because we have a public approval of 60% or higher. Wow, that would have been, or could have been, horrible. Okay, a 1 to 3 is that Saudi Arabia started the war. Okay, so that is going to be an interesting war to look at. Where is Saudi Arabia? So we're at War 2. It's in the Middle East, of course. And it's against Iran. Iran from Sergeant Slaughter. Where are you, Iran? Right here. Iran gets to do a cyber attack. I'm sorry, Saudi Arabia gets to do a cyber attack against Iran. So we're going to go after their infrastructure since their nuclear track is already impacted. A 3 is a very good roll.
Oh yeah, 3 columns.
Major success. Adjust relative strength on all 3 of Iran's conflict tracks by 1 in the opposite favor.
They don't have to accept, and
If they're at war, remove 2 strength from their side.
Outside of free travel.
That's just what we're going to do. I just haven't set it up yet. So basically, that one, this goes down to equal. And that's already there. So I will give them the +1 because this should have, the war should have been set up before I did the cyber attack. So we will give them the +1, and then I'll give them a -2. Alright, so this is a regular war. Saudi Arabia. They have a strength of 5. And then Iran has a strength of 6, which is going to turn into 7. But now they get a -2, so they're down to a 5. Ooh, that's an equal war. And then we have to roll for the reaction for the cyber attack. They get a -2 to that roll. So it becomes a 5. They think they know that it's you or Israel that did it, but they have no proof. +1 tension on both Iran and Israel. And then roll again. Oh, that's not good.
Nah, it was perfect. Okay, well, if they want to merge,
Okay, so we rolled an 8. They're increasing a terror group in the Middle East. So this becomes a 4. That was the result of the cyber attack. So now we got to go do the war, which is very interesting because they're 1 and 1. So I need a really low number for Saudi Arabia not to get trounced here. That is a good low number. US is not at war. There is no Russia or China combined influence counters in the region anymore. So there's no modifiers. So it's just +3. Or just at 3. It's a combined ground war 1 on 1. No move. Both lose 1. That's a really interesting outcome. Alright, so that's where it is. Those two are at war. All because of the chaos. Okay, last but not least, we're going to have our last group of rogues and allies go. So we already know that Japan was one of them. UK is first. We get 2 actions. I just realized I need to deal with this. But anyways, UK gets 2 actions. First one they must choose is Intel. It says so right here.
wait, the body.
So we're going to go ahead and roll. I think that's a military one, right? So they get a -1 because we have a Intel advisor.
I get one.
No, we don't. Never mind. That doesn't work. Let me look. Oh, it's an auto success.
Oh, they're in a Herbie
they don't have to roll. And UK gets 2 intel successes.
Join that VC.
So they can put both of that there. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll move that to a 2. Alright, so that was one action. We could reduce regional crisis or get rid of tension. I'm going to reduce regional crisis to 1. We should probably have done down here because there's 2 wars down here. So I'm changing my mind just on where it's going to be. Done. Okay, that was 2 for UK. We rolled a 7. It becomes an 8. And that's a 9. Alright, so look on their chart. There's no Russian influence in the Eurozone. There's no 3 or 4 terror group. The NATO conflict status is 2. So it's just a +1. So it becomes a 10. There's no wars with the US. So a 10 anti-terror campaign. Reduce 1, level 1, 2, or 3. Group in Eurozone or Eastern Europe by 1 level.
Token. Join. Fast. Speed.
We're going to go ahead and reduce this one. Get rid of it completely.
Oh no, someone's clipping my voice.
Alright, so that was the UK. Next is Japan. They have 1 tension.
Oh, I don't really care. If we have another Apex, we probably won't get anything.
They can try to de-escalate. I think Japan is actually okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, they're as de-escalated as it gets.
I'm here to play my part.
Humanitarian aid might be the right way to go. They could try to stabilize a region. They get a -1 because the crisis is at 0. I'm going to do that. A 1 to a 5 succeeds.
There was nothing.
Yes. So stability goes to 7. That's pretty good.
Subgiga got 1 hit on it and bro ran.
They still have another action. We could try to stabilize again. Get it all the way up to 8. Yeah, let's do it. Where do I remove the tension? Oh, we stabilize. It succeeded. Get that sucker all the way up to 8. Alright, now we roll for them. Give them a +1. Shuffle. Oh, we rolled a 1.
They know we have body there. The acro came up here, so.
Japan. Dialogue. Decrease China-Japan conflict track by 1 box and remove 1 tension from each country. I don't think it can be reduced anymore. But we do get rid of that tension, which I was tempted to do. And we get rid of one of theirs, which is good.
Technically, yeah.
Okay. Next up
This Smith is
is North Korea. This one could be problematic.
No, you could do that on me. Wait, I'll sit down.
2, 3, 4. So 4. Shuffle, shuffle. They're going to get... It was 3, it's rounded up. They get 2 back. So they get a +4 to their roll.
I want this bush.
Alright, a 3 is nice and low. A 4 makes it 7. They're at a 2. So it goes up to 8. And the relative strength doesn't favor anybody. So it's 8. They do not move up their nuke track. They're going to do cyber attacks. +1 regional crisis. Roll a d10. Is that a 1? Move relative strength on conflict track and DPRK's favor. And they could have destabilized our OK. Alright, so this is now 1 towards them. Alright. So every unstable state in Eurozone and Eastern Europe goes next. I don't think there's one in either. Oh no, there is one in Eastern Europe.
If he gets too close, Get ready, he's getting too close. They're in the same.
Ooh, a 3. Pretty sure a 3. That removes it. Okay, that's that for that, and now we're going to go to the UNX, which this is always a nice chart. Highest regional crisis value. 1 1 2 2 1 1. So 1 2 3 4 5 6.
No, that's valid. I would kill you if you're checking smack.
Succeeds. Moves that down to 1. Lowest stability. 2. We got a newcomer here. 4 4.
To the waterfall.
Their stability went up.
I cannot run from that.
So 1 2 3 4 5 6.
Are you ready?
Nothing happens. Same deal. We're doing this here. So 1 2 is Africa. A 4 does reduce a 2 or 3 terror group by 1 level. Oh, that's a 4. So I'll reduce. Nope, I'm just going to get rid of 1. Choose a civil war.
I think they want me or the
We're going to choose this one. Let's try to do a ceasefire. A 9 is not going to cut it. Becomes an 8. Stability is less than 5, so it becomes a 9 again. Regional crisis goes up.
Yeah,
That didn't do anything. So now we got US initiated actions. I will spend an AP and I will spend one of these. So we will do 2 actions.
maybe that Subrex was with them.
UN sanctions
There's another group.
on Iran would be really nice.
I'm gonna assume
End a civil war. Decrease a level 3-4 conflict track by 1 level.
those guys?
Also remove 2 tensions from each side. Ooh. What's a 3-4?
Subrex was not with them.
Russia, Ukraine.
They should totally 3-call them right now.
Ukraine doesn't have any tension though. See, that's the thing. The game needs to put an ally, Ukraine, right here. That's not as good because I don't get to remove tension from my allies, but I do get to remove it from Russia.
Getting on another ferry.
Two tensions, in fact, from each side. And they have exactly two. I think. I don't know why I was so excited to do this. I can try to increase stability. It's a 1 to 5. It's not horrible. Get some of these stabilities up, so it's not so horrible. This one is the sanctions.
Wait, no, that's a child. I can't do that.
Oh, there's a civil war here we can go after. That's not an issue. Could do this. This is what I've been doing a lot. But I think we got them under control.
I can run too.
I'm torn. Well, we get to see what this value is. It's just a 1, which is worthless. I do get a 1 DRM to these rolls. So increasing stability is something I can do. So, yeah, let's try to increase the stability in Africa. I will use this.
Where are you at? We want to go that way. Get both of those
6.
guys.
That -1 actually puts me right where I need to be. Africa moves up to 5. So that'll help with the civil wars. And then who else is low stability? This one.
Because I don't have my ferry companion with me.
Let's do Middle East. This is with my action point.
Who says there isn't another one?
And Middle East moves up stability as well. Get that up to 5. Alright, that was, I think, a good use of those actions.
Yeah. Do that right now.
And then now we do 3 domestic actions. Because where are we? We're here.
Let's see. That's actually
Okay, I wanted to do this. I could do this.
no.
Tensions are all gone. Everything else I'm okay with. Yeah, so we're gonna roll.
I got my
We gotta reduce the domestic thing.
So I got a double point.
So that worked. We need a, that's a check against your cabinet effectiveness. And then I forget what I do for this one. Domestic master sheet. To address a lingering issue,
I only have 2 monitors. Sad.
it's a cabinet effectiveness check. I do get a -1 because I'm 60% or higher.
Okay.
We get a +2 to all rolls because it represents a lingering crisis that has gone unattended. That's pretty wild. Alright, so
Yeah, mess with it.
a 5 is +2 is 7, which that alone would pass, but I get a -1, so I definitely pass. I get to reduce the lingering issue by 1,
My friend.
and then I have one more action that's domestic. What am I forgetting to do?
Combat.
I can.
I don't know what I'm supposed
Yeah,
to
I'm not worried about the bills at the moment
far in fighting them because I can't go in on
because we got a good situation here.
worse.
You know what? I'm gonna try to reduce this again. Let's go.
Yeah.
Bam. Got that back to 0.
For them, though.
Right, that's good. Um, very happy with that. Okay, so now we draw a chit. We have never gotten the good times this whole game, you jerks. So it's a level 3 cascading event. There's 3 cards here.
What was that?
So the one we drew is Instability Civil War Rogue State. Roll d10 to identify 2 regions. We're doing this section. So we rolled a 10, and each, if there's no unstable state, place 1. If there's a civil war, roll a d10. So 10 is here. Now they got an unstable state. The other region is 4. Let me guess. Yes, that's the Middle East. Of course it is. Unstable state. 3 of them. But that's only if there is no unstable state. They don't get another one. There's no civil wars in either of those. So nothing really happens, and since this was a level 3, it does get discarded. So we finally get rid of that card. I'm happy about that. Next we do War Progress. Which, this is interesting, because the War Progress on this one is 10 to 2. That's a 5 to 1. Really high. As long as I roll low, this war is going to be over. Just trying to find my world chart here. So this is Israel.
Those 2 down there is the same Rexiga. They both have the same skins.
Yeah, there's no modifications. It's just an air war only. So at a 4 to 1 ratio, and they rolled a, what was it again? A 2? Yeah, this is going to be devastating. No, it's not. But it does move 2 to the left, and defender loses 1. So when you move to the left and you move again, that's called an overwhelming victory. So I'm just trying to move back to the outcome. First thing that happens is regional conflict goes up by 1.
I think if the Paki fell off of that, the Paki would be fine.
So if the move result is greater than the number needed to move the conflict status to the win box. Oh, it's only if the loser is a rogue state. You could reduce the rogue state by 2 levels.
Pakis can jump.
That is not the case here. So they do win, though. So this is a case where there's 2 things. There's an ally wins and Iran loses. If Iran, remove 1 Iran influence counter. Player's choice. So one of these influence counters goes away. Then, for both, place a -1 AP counter.
We're both going towards Land Bridge.
The both just means Iran or Korea, because this is the same instructions for both. So they get a -1 AP. That's what I like to see. So the -1 AP on these guys is a -2 to their roll when they do their action. For either nation, decrease their nuclear track. That is excellent. So this goes back even more. They got knocked back into the Stone Age. Alright, that's 1. Now the ally one, their conflict stress goes back to 2.
I don't know about that one.
Relative strength goes 1 in allies' favor.
And you did that to that packy?
They get a +1 AP. So Israel's going to get a +1 AP.
Yeah. No, you said it. You incriminated yourself.
Public approval goes up. If the ally relationship was very close, we get a legacy point.
Giga and Rex are fighting Spoon.
Ah, we lost it, but we do get this. See, it wasn't very close, but we get the very close for it. So, we do gain the public approval. I'm happy just to get that extra point. That was something I was supposed to remember to do, and I forgot. So, that's that war. Then this war is very problematic. It's a 1-to-1. I need to roll a 1, or this is going to be over soon. That's a 3. I don't think any modifiers apply to anybody on this one. So this is a air-ground war with a 1-to-1, and we rolled a 3. No move. Both lose 1. Yeah, they're just... We need to help them. I don't know how, but we need to. Alright, and then we get to do any 4 diplomatic or military, which is how we could possibly help them. But item number 1 is we're going to get rid of China influence. I cannot. I need regional alignment to be 6. I've been cheating, haven't I? Oh my gosh, I can't do that. The regional alignment's not high enough. Or is it just the stability? It's the alignment that I needed, not the stability. So I removed 2 of them from here. I don't even know what would I do differently with those actions. I mean, I could remove these ones because I'm at 6 here, but that's not at 0. It's so hard to even know.
Well, we probably are not going to be going that way.
Oh. Alright, so this 4 row is to do the military thing.
Back here.
Because we need to improve our relations over there. Because China keeps ruining our relations. So
Get him.
we're doing the military aid. So we roll a 4. Our Secretary of Defense rating is a 2. It becomes a 3 because they have influence. We get to put a trending pro-US counter. Or receive a goodwill. -1 to crisis. So that goes back to 0. I'm going to put the 2 China markers back out. So that means I get 2 actions back. That would have been one of them from a while ago. The other one, we could just, well, we'll just move this down by 1. Because whatever I rolled to successfully remove this would have moved that down. So now we're here. We get 4 actions. I'm going to do the military aid thing again. 8 becomes a 7. That's not going to work, is it? That doesn't work. I'm going to spend an AP to roll again. A 2 works fantastic. Alright, so we get our trending counter, so we get to move up to 6. That's where we needed to be. So this is action 1. And receive a goodwill counter from the UN.
Look, I'm a slow guy, okay?
And remove 1 military footprint counter. It's even better.
It does look like it's better than everyone.
Alright, so now we have 3 actions, and I'm going to try to remove China influence there. Action 1,
Oh yeah.
success. Action 2, success. Action 3, fail. Success. So 1, 2, 3. So they're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wait, here, let me, did this hit? Is this gonna hit?
10. Russia's at 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I know we blew through our actions there.
Shower a lot.
There's a lot we could have done. We could have gone after this level 4 terror group, but now we do SOE impact, and this is going to improve relations because we have all very close relationships. So
They can be pretty good.
we get to improve regional alignment at 2 different places. So I'm going to get rid of this one for 1, and I'm looking at the different influence places.
Die when sitting.
I'm going to put a pro alignment on there for 2.
Well, anyone can't die while sitting.
So that brings us to the end. Then we'll do final activations in the next video. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.